Please remember to subscribe, click like, and click the bell icon for all notifications on this channel. A little bit of Star Wars news. This dropped yesterday on Twitter. And it reads as follows. Slight director J.D. Dillard to develop new Star Wars movie, per The Hollywood Reporter. Dillard, who co-wrote and directed the sci-fi thriller Slight, has been tapped to lead a new Star Wars project alongside Marvel's Luke Cage writer Matt Owens. According to The Hollywood Reporter, reporters Boris Kitt, it's unclear whether the film will be a direct theatrical release or if it will debut on the Disney Plus streaming service, and plot details are unknown. Now, I went to the website for Hollywood Reporter, and this is what it is. The title of it is Star Wars and a New Hope for Inclusion. And we see the picture of the director, J.D. Dillard. And it reads as follows. Lucasfilm has hired J.D. Dillard and Matt Owens to develop a new project which could become the first feature set in a galaxy far, far away, overseen by filmmakers of color. Another week, another Star Wars project in the works at Lucasfilm, but this time it's different, something different. On Friday, we learned that J.D. Dillard and Matt Owens are developing a new Star Wars feature. This is one of the several projects in the works at Lucasfilm, including features from Kevin Feige and Rian Johnson, as the company maps out the future of the franchise after the rise of Skywalker and outside of the Skywalker saga, which has comprised 9 of the 11 live-action Star Wars features. Details are scarce at the moment, and it's unknown whether the film will be traditional theatrical release or break new ground on Disney+. They did release Lady and the Tramp on Disney+, and it may go that way, but whatever the film is about and however it's delivered to viewers, the talent behind the project is worth getting excited about. But Matt Owens is best known for his work as a writer on Luke Cage and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., while J.D. Dillard is a recent breakout talent in the genre film world with 2 films under his belt, sci-fi drama Slight and the survival horror Sweetheart. I have not seen either, but I heard of Slight, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, so maybe I should check it out. Both of which premiered at Sundance and were picked up by Blumhouse, as a good production company there. While neither men are household names yet, they are making major studios in the world of genre filmmaking. Yet they are making major strides in the world of genre filmmaking. Dillard in particular has a filmmaking quality that's not unlike J.J. Abrams early in his career. It is focused on strong, deeply human characterizations and the elements of mystery and spectacle within a budget. Not long ago, after the premiere of Sweetheart on Netflix, I commented that Dillard was the perfect person to direct the next Cloverfield entry. Little did I know that it wasn't the Cloverfield films in Abrams' filmography that Dillard would be following, but the ones that takes place in a galaxy far, far away. Though Dillard and Owens have been hired to develop a script, with no director set, it's possible Dillard could find himself in the director's chair should the project move beyond the scripting stage. In terms of both writing and directing, this would mark the first time that people of color have been behind a Star Wars film. While there are undoubtedly circles of the internet who would strive to convince you otherwise, putting 2 black men in charge of a Star Wars film is a very big deal. Since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012, one of the biggest complaints lodged at the company, overseen by Kathleen Kennedy, is the property's lack of inclusion behind the scenes. I don't think it's primarily that, but that could be one of the things. On screen, Star Wars has made great strides in that department. Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Last Jedi, Solo, and The Rise of Skywalker all delivering on inclusive cast. And why shouldn't it? It's the responsibility of our biggest franchises to not only tell good stories, but reflect the world they exist in and people whose imaginations they capture. But Lucasfilm's track record for hiring people of color and women as directors and writers is virtually non-existent. It's not non-existent at all. It's there. On the Disney Plus side of things, thanks to The Mandalorian, we've seen Lucasfilm's initial efforts to broaden their talent pool with Rick Famuyiwa, Deborah Chow, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Taika Waititi. Directing episodes for the first season, Waititi has been approached about Star Wars feature. As much as blockbuster filmmaking has changed in the last 2 decades, it's still been a struggle for people of color, women, and particularly women of color to be hired by these major properties. Waititi, Ryan Coogler, Patty Jenkins, Kathy Yan, F. Gary Gray, Chloe Zhao, Destin Daniel Cretton, and Ava DuVernay are just a few directors who represent inclusivity in the star system of white males. And even those filmmakers like Fumiya, who do get hired for major projects like The Flash, are too frequently sidelined by creative differences and studio politics. No doubt the usual chorus will chime in with just hired talented filmmakers don't worry about gender and color. Exactly. But for too long, we've been conditioned to believe that white men are the baseline through which to consider talent. I never do that. I watch the movie. I could give a fuck about the director, unless it's a big name director. But it's like, I don't go watch Black Widow because I know a woman's going to direct it, or even Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins did an awesome job, and she looks like she did a good job on the sequel that's coming out. But I'm not watching Wonder Woman because a woman director. I couldn't care less. The only problem I have is that if you change a person's character that's known as a male to a female, because you would never see a female turn to a male character, would you? So I don't understand a lot of this stuff. This person obviously is somebody who's on the side of always complaining that there's not enough color, not enough gender, not enough this representation. It's like, if you want it, I've said this before in past videos, if you want it, go out and get it. If you can't get it, make it your own. You know what I mean? Because whether you like it or not, a lot of the top directors and a lot of the ones are white. This happens to be that way. It's not because they block out people that want to be. They give plenty of great opportunities. We got a lot of good directors who are of color and who are women. Patty Jenkins, again, you had Catherine Bigelow, who did The Hurt Locker and other films. You have Ryan Coogler behind Creed, right? And other films too as well. It's like, give them more opportunities. Yeah, sure, but they need to go out there and get them. Are they just sitting back and going, I heard they're doing another Star Wars movie. God, I hope they call me, because I'm a person of color. I'm a female. I'm a transgender. I'm this. You got to go out and get it. That's the only problem I have with people when they say, especially like with Oscar time and all that stuff, not enough representation in the categories. Well, if you want to get nominated, how about you? Yeah, I don't know. Geez, get a clip of the actor, send it out to everybody in the Academy, and let them look at it, and maybe they'll nominate you. Are you working hard enough to get yourself noticed? I'm all for these guys fighting for their way in and getting more representation, sure. But don't just sit back and then act like, you're not doing anything to get recognition, and then you complain that there's not enough representation. I understand that part about being represented, but it's like, don't always complain and don't always use that pat complaint every time. Like, not enough this, not enough that. Are you trying? This isn't the old days where you don't have so many avenues to get in there. There are so many ways to get your film out there, get your recognition, inclusion, all that stuff. You guys are focusing too much on these big franchises, and saying that there's not enough inclusion when there was characters that already been set decades ago, years ago. Reach these people, approach them, say, can you do this, can you do that, instead of complaining about it. Make your own. Like I said with the Marvel, DC, there are gay characters, there are LGBTQ, there are, characters of color. But we don't see a lot of them because it's like, you're not trying. You're trying to change real, characters that are established and making them transgender, making them from male to female. It goes to show what your agenda is that you want to just go for the popularity or for the establishing of the character, when yet but you're doing it with a already established character already. How about you take a character that's already representing that you want and put it out there? You know, Alita Battle Angel. These guys want a sequel. They're out there with the hashtag Alita Battle Angel sequel. They're doing something to do it. I don't see any other people with hashtags saying this, and that. You know, trying to get your what you want when it comes to representation. You know, but while the opportunities for women and people of color are too scarce for many to even get a chance to prove that they have talent. Like I said, I've seen Ryan Coogler, I've seen Patty Jenkins, Catherine Bigelow in the past. All of these women of color, men of color, women of women, and all that stuff. You know, go out there and get it. Don't just sit back and expect you're going to get it because of your color or because of your gender. You know, I come from a generation that we went out and grabbed at the situation. We went out there and grabbed the opportunity. We went out there searching for it. We didn't just sit back like this last generation who just feel like they're owed something. When it's like, no, you go out there and get it. That's old school. You know, that's how you get it. You don't just sit back and be lazy like the participation trophy generation is. They just sit back and they expect to get a trophy. They expect to be handed this. You don't have to work for anything. Talking for this individual is as a black man who grew up loving Star Wars, the potential for Dillard and Owens to broaden the reach of his franchise is nothing short of immensely gratifying. And both filmmakers have pushed for strong and complex roles for people of color, for women in their respective worlds, making their potential perspective into Star Wars all the more exciting. Lucasfilm has a perfect opportunity to redefine the franchise and make it clear that the series belongs to more than just those who fell in love with the property in 1977. While we won't be entirely satisfied until the project goes into production, Dillard and Owens' involvement at this point feels like hope, a new hope. Okay, I understand this individual, and I understand the people that feel the same way. You know, it's great. You know, include people of color, gender, all that. But it's like this. Don't just sit back and expect for it to happen. The movie's already cast, it's already in the can, it's already out there in theaters, and then people start complaining. Why wasn't this? Well, here's what I asked. Did you go as a representative and go over there and say, are you going to include African American, inclusion of color, gender, or did you just sit back expecting it to happen? You know, it's like people have their storylines. People have their focus on what they want in their films. They're not going to. Did you ever think about it this way? That maybe it's because they're not thinking about gender, color, whatever, just thinking about story. You know, just thinking about putting it on screen. You know what I mean? It's like you can't keep harking on the fact that there's a lack of this and lack of that when it's like you ask yourself the question, look in the mirror and go, how about, did I try to get myself into talking? You know, did I approach them? Did you go there and what's that, audition for the role or submit a story, a screenplay? How about you make a screenplay that does that? You know, because yeah, Star Wars is diverse. Yeah, it is. But it just so happened that the main characters are white. Are white. It has nothing to do with the non-inclusion of people of color. You know, I remember hearing, I think, a joke that it's like, what about the animals and the creatures? You know, the aliens and all that stuff. They could be of color. You know, look at Lando Calrissian. Look at these others. Right? It's like this is just how it is. You know, unfortunately, but it's like at the same time you have to understand that, like I said before, that's not what their goal or aim is. You know, I've said this before, may rub people the wrong way, but when it comes to the African Americans, black filmmakers, actors, and all that stuff. If you're out there doing films, stop doing films like like Scary Movie and the Medea films and all these other films that you guys oftentimes even the TV shows you guys act like buffoons. You know, harking back to like Stephen Fetchit and Amos and Andy and all that stuff. I'm not saying all of them, but there's some. And then they expect to get taken seriously when it comes to Oscar time. When how many films would you guys put out are that Oscar worthy? There are a lot. There are those films. There are. But sometimes when it comes to the film, the whole thing of the process of voting and considering, they'll look more at those buffoonish movies like Norbit and all these other films, these silly films, and they will use that as a barometer and like and there were some films that definitely were released that had some great performances by African Americans, sure, but it's like it gets overpowered by like the Wayans brothers and all these others like Tyler Perry. Has Tyler Perry ever done a movie that is like award worthy or Oscar worthy or critically acclaimed? He plays that female Medea all the time. It got old after a while. We all know that. It got old after a while, and then his films started flopping. Wayne's brothers, like I said, they do White Chicks. They do, Scary Movie. And you're supposed to be taken seriously. Now, you got these guys who have come out and recently, Ryan Coogler, you got this guy, J.D. Dillard and Get Out, who I forget the name of that director and writer, I believe he's a writer as well. Great. That guy Steve McQueen, who did 12 Years a Slave. I mean, these guys are great filmmakers. Be consistent. Get out there. Make powerful films featuring an all African American cast, and you'll nail it. It's kind of funny. He gets all the accolades for that film. I believe he won for original screenplay. But it's like, after that, then what? Nothing. You got to be consistent when it comes to doing films, making films in Hollywood. You can't just make a film, critically acclaimed, it's out there. Oh my God, it's getting so much love, awards, everything, and then you stop. And then maybe you come out, and then some of these guys will come out with a silly film next, and it's like, don't expect that you're not gonna be consistent with making a movie like 12 Years a Slave, and then you make a silly, goofy kind of film, and then you think, oh, how come I didn't get nominated? I don't mean nothing by this. I mean nothing but love, for y'all, because I want everybody to succeed, of course. Especially when you're in the world of Hollywood. I want to succeed in what I do, in my personal life. But it's like, if you're not doing something about it, if you're not trying to get out there and constantly, banging on doors and sending out tapes and video and scripts and all that stuff, and then I guess you're just gonna sit back and go, how come they didn't call me? How come they didn't nominate me? How come they didn't include me in that film? Well, why don't you get out there and do something about it? Serious. I'm just being serious. I'm being honest. I've been accused by people of being too honest sometimes, but you know what? Those of you who don't like it, what I said, I can't do nothing about that. This is me being honest. That's all I can be, is be me. I'm not going to be phony. I'm not going to act like I know everything. There are things I know, and that's all I present to you. And if I'm not too sure, I'll just tell you what I know, and that's that. And you can correct me in the comments. You can tell me I'm a this and I'm a that. You can tell me I'm dead on. You can tell me I'm right, or you can tell me I'm wrong. I don't care. It's up to you what you want to put in the comments or what you want to think. Some of you don't even comment on my videos. You're thinking it. That's cool. Think about it. I don't care. That's fine. But this could be a definite big opportunity for this young man. I heard nothing but good things about Slight. I didn't watch the movie, but I oftentimes I will be on Twitter, I'll be online, and I see a headline talking about it. But if he becomes a part of Star Wars, and if he can't find a director, he becomes the director. That's great. The guy that's writing with him, or whatever, the guy who wrote Matt Owens, he's the one that wrote for Luke Cage, and Luke Cage was great. But keep working, work on it, work hard, get yourself out there. Instead of sitting back and expecting something to be done for you, you got to go out there and get it. Don't think like how this participation trophy generation has been brought up, that everything is handed to them, and even though they lose, they win. Here's a trophy for you. You don't have to work hard. Here you go. No, you got to go out there and get it. Go and get it. You know. And I'm not talking specifically to men, people of color, or the women, the gender, and all that. Everybody needs to. Want representation? Get out there and be recognized. You can't be recognized if you're just going to sit in your home and go, oh, I hope they cast me. Oh, I hope they cast me because I'm a person of color. I'm a woman. I'm a this. I'm a that. No, that's not how it works. You know, you got to get out there. It's like the same mentality if like if you want a job. Oh, I wish I could work. God, I want to buy this and buy that, but then you're just sitting at home, not doing anything about it. How are you going to get a job if you don't get up and get out of your house and go look? You can't wish it. You have to do it. That's it. So those are my thoughts on this. You know, I saw the headline. I didn't even realize it's going to include this type of a topic. You know, about inclusion of people of color and gender and all that. You know, once in a while, I like talking about it. Sometimes it gets me, gets my dander up. It gets me heated because it's not because of the fact that people are complaining. These people of color, gender, and all that stuff. It's just the fact that you're complaining, yet are you going out there? Are you showing your interests? Are you making films that are based on certain characters in the Marvel universe, the DC universe, Star Wars, and all that stuff that are of color? Maybe you do that instead of trying to change an established character to that. You know, I mean, they made what was that? They made Lando Calrissian in Solo a pansexual. What does that mean? You know, instead of just leaving it alone, maybe you introduce a character that's that in the Solo universe when they had Solo come out. You know, it's as simple as that. You know, the saying ABC easy as 1, 2, 3. It's like that. Simple as ABC. Simple as the alphabet. Simple as counting your numbers. You know, simple. Go out there and get it. Don't complain. Go out there and get it. Because if they're not going to do it for you, you got to do it for yourself. You know, if you're going to continue to beat down the door and they don't want you to come in, go out there and another way and another avenue and do it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Anyway, this is my video, and for those of you who stopped by and checked it out and are supporting my channel much, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.